Hello everyone, my name is Marquina. This is my presentation for Surveying Class 292. Today I will be presenting to you about the Land Grant Act of 1962 and how it affected New Mexico State University. We'll start out with some brief history on NMSU. New Mexico was still a territory when Las Cruces College opened the doors of its two-room building in the fall of 1888. It was until 1889 that New Mexico territorial legislature authorized the creation of an agricultural college and experiment station in or near Las Cruces. This institution was designated as the land grant college for the state of New Mexico under this mentioned MORRIL Act, and after that the name was New Mexico College of Agriculture and Mechanic Arts. So basically that was the first name of what now is known as NMSU. Our school first opened in January 21st, 1980, and that first semester there were 35 students in the college level and preparatory classes and 6 faculty members, which I guess compared to now it's a pretty big difference. But based on all that, we come back to the Land Grant College of 1862, which is also, again, it's called the MORRIL Act. Basically, this act provided grants of land to states to finance the establishment of colleges, passed by the U.S. Congress on July 2nd, 1862, and named after its sponsor, which was Vermont's Congressman Justin Smith Morrill, and then finally signed by Abraham Lincoln into law on July 8th, 1862. And basically, this MORRIL Act committed the federal government to grant each state 30,000 acres of public land issued in the form of land scrip certificates for each of its representatives and senators in Congress. And to the right of this slide, you can see a picture of Justin Smith Morrill, Congressman of Vermont. This following slide shows the record of the act, which I know it's a little hard to see on this slide, but at the end of this presentation, you will find my references, which you could go back into and maybe see if you could kind of make some sense of what it says here. Really detailed work. Now, what did that mean for NMSU? Basically, it gave all the land, all the campus, everything that belongs to NMSU based on that act. And right here you can see a map where it kind of pinpoints locations that are either campuses or lands that belong to NMSU. And on our main campus, all of the land between the two interstates, I-10 and I-25, up to University Avenue, equals up to 900 acres. And that's basically NMSU campus land. And although 900 acres sounds like a lot, it's actually slightly more than 1% of the land that NMSU owns around the state. So pretty much that's campus, but there's a lot of more land that was attributed to the college from this act, or that at least made it possible for them to acquire them. And it says right here, then according to Fred Ayers, which is a director of real estate in the NMSU General Counsel Office, NMSU owns a total of 85,287 acres in New Mexico. Property or campus lands actually total up to 1,677 acres. So looks like there's some part of NMSU leasing one in each county in New Mexico. Following that information, some of the colleges or campuses or land owned by NMSU would be identified as, or would include, I guess, 4 Doña Ana Community College sites away from the NMSU campus, which occupy 104 acres. There are 3 other community colleges in NMSU, Alamogordo, Carlsbad, and Grants, which all have 511, 122, and 40 acres respectively, adding to how much NMSU owns, campuses, and land. As well, right there off of east of I-25, the intersection, I'm sorry, Interstate I-25, NMSU owns 2,500 acres east of that I-25, including the NMSU golf course, the president's residence, land on the west slope of 8 Mountain, and the site of the New Mexico Farm and Ranch Heritage Museum. Which, if I guess you're really kind of familiar with Las Cruces, you could kind of figure out where all that is. And with that, there's also land north of University Avenue, including the Pan Am Plaza, as well as 48-acre horse farm located west of the campus and managed by the Department of Animal and Range Sciences. As well with that, Doña Ana County, there are a couple of science centers which can add up to 45 acres to the university, and what it's called a Leyendecker Plant Science Research Center, a 203-acre farm along the Rio Grande, about 6 miles south of campus. What is pretty cool to know that I had no idea is that NMSU owns 18,138 acres of the 27,886 acre Corona Range and Livestock Research Center located near the town of Corona, New Mexico. And that's pretty impressive because there's really not much out there in that area. So it's kind of cool that NMSU owns a big chunk of that. Coming back to what is known the Morrill Land Grant Act of 1862, this act had a very deep impact over economic development of the United States of America, as this act provided land and money to different states of the United States to create colleges that give education of agriculture, engineering, and military tactics. In the 1800s, United States people felt concerned over the future of agriculture of nation and got very confused about it. The Morrill Act provided help to the student to educate about agricultural science, and that helped in farming, which eventually led to grow the economy of the United States. And over here I found a image which just kind of points out the 150 years of opportunity based on the Morrill Land Grant Act. This was in 2012, of course. The picture of Abraham Lincoln, which was the one that signed it into law. And as you could see, this act was the base foundation of the growth of what we know NMSU to be now. And the main idea when Morrill introduced this act was that he envisioned the financing of education, and he wanted to assure that education would be available to those in all social classes. Especially like during his times, that this gave the opportunity for more people to educate themselves, for even people, colored people, to have an education or have the opportunity to attend school and educate themselves. So this act was really important towards any state. This was just a brief history of the impact it had on New Mexico State University and how it helped it grow to what it is now. This final slide would include all my references. If by any chance you want to go back and check out more information, or see if you could get a better look at the images that were maybe a little blurry, maybe a little small, as I could fit only in this slide. Thank you.